Dear you, to the person you were in August, even July and May, you saw how excited you were for that new opportunity. The heck of it, even the person who you were in March when you received that acceptance letter to the lab. You saw that as your golden ticket out. And it was your ticket out. You thought it was going to be one of the best experiences of your life, that you thought you were going to enjoy it and love it, and that was going to be it, that you were going to fall in love with research, that you thought the track of the PhD was yours. And then April came, and you realized school was slipping away. And then May term, that came around. It had its own difficulties, from learning how to write again, to reading, to being able to explain and articulate yourself in a whole new way that you're not used to, that you weren't used to. Then that chapter coming to a close, when you thought, what have I gotten myself into? You packed, you said your goodbyes, and you headed to research. The days came, research followed. You met your roommates. You experienced living in a new college and doing lab there. The first couple of weeks, you were hesitant. You thought maybe it was going to get better, but it kind of didn't. The research didn't get better. The experience was an experience of its own. But even though it didn't change, you changed. From the people that you met, to the highs that you made. No one else told you to say hi to that one person with a bouquet of flowers, to tell them they were pretty. No one told you to go compliment that girl about her sweater or her nails. You did. Because you saw every person as an opportunity to smile, to spread positivity, the opportunity to bring good vibes into the world, in the places that you couldn't find positivity. Weeks passed. A few months did pass. But the best thing you took away is networking. It's cliche, but it was true. You were able to meet so many different people, so many different friends, and the abilities to make connections that hopefully will last you a lifetime. You never thought of it. And you remember sitting in church, praying to God that it would go away, that you would eventually skip into the person you were in December and be on your training trip in the warm tropical beach. But you just sat there in June, praying and praying that it would go quick. The research would go quick and that you would do good. And in the meantime, working inside the lab, doing all your mixing of the things that you didn't understand. It felt debilitating, but it felt empowering. But you didn't feel like you had support from the right people. But you had your one golden crane, a paper crane. Your crane who was not from there. Your crane who had her own ups and downs. But she was always there making you smile and laugh. It's crazy to think about what life would have been like without her in your lab. I definitely wouldn't have smiled as much. I wouldn't have had as many laughters and days made because of her. Especially after long Wednesday meetings, leaving oftentimes at 7:30 just to go back to that lab at 9. From you waking up every single morning at like 5:30, almost 5, to go swim in the pool, hop in the pool, Monday, Tuesday, Thursday, with people you didn't even know, but soon became familiar with. Swimming those freestyle and then breaststroke. And sometimes the IM sets with a girl who was your age, who has traveled a lifetime. Being able to connect over, being the same year, swimming, being in college, trying to enjoy every single moment of it. But it's crazy that time has passed and here I am. looking back and thinking about the girl I was, and thinking about how much she would think I've changed. And then hopping back into the past of reflecting on how much has changed. I literally had to write an entire paper on basically like why I'm scholarly appropriate to have this award, in addition to leadership and community impact. And it made me think about why I started my club. Because I went back home, I think it was in July, and I texted my friend that we would always go to the gym together. And I was like, yo, I can maybe even pull up these texts that she was like, I was like, yo, what are your thoughts about starting up a club? I'm gonna have to find it. And she was like, go for it. I'm gonna have to find it because this is too good not to. I said July 6th. Hey, if there's a club on campus, specifically for girls, we go to the gym together, would you most likely go to the gym more? I asked because I was thinking of making a club, an official club that girls could get together, do circuits like we do at all different levels and do it all together. And she said, yeah, I would. And I said, okay, because I'm thinking of a big picture. If girls feel more comfortable going with a bigger group than by themselves, I think it would be a fun challenge for me to try and market this. Thank you for your input. July 6th, 11 a.m. To the girl I was in July. Oh, you did that. I videoed the first couple of moments of starting that and just starting the idea and emailing my head person of student government and who runs the clubs, and she was like, yeah, do the paperwork. And I said, say less. And I just followed through. I went to the library and finished up the documents at my home, and I did. And then the next requirement was find 10 people interested. So I did. I gave them their student IDs, and then I worked on getting leadership positions, and then starting it up, and then hosting an event, and then hosting like sub events that weren't official yet. And then I got to have my roster. One of my goals was to have my roster double by the end of the semester, and my goal was to have 24 people. I'm at 50. and my goal, I think, for the Instagram, I don't even remember, but now we're at like almost 340 followers on Instagram, and I'm in the process of making t-shirts, and I've done a 50-50 raffle, and I've got another event coming in March, and all these things are coming to fruition while still being a full-time student, while still balancing swim, and as you guys know, like literally trying to stay sane. And I look back and I think about the girl in July just wanting to leave and wanting to be the girl I was in August even. And even August was probably my favorite month just because I was home. I was home for most of that month, and then school hit. I saw my friends again, and yeah, I mean, school started, and I thought, wow, I made it. That I made it, and I did, and I truly did make it, because I survived that lab experience, literally from the incidents that happened to mentally and emotionally. And oh boy, there's not enough words to describe how painful that was. I remember calling my dad during lunch, and we were like week 3, and I'm like, I hope this gets better. I think this will. Week 4, week 5, week 6, week 7. And I had 3 more weeks left, and he was like, just make it through. Just make it through the 10 weeks. And I did. And I really did. And I have somebody who will support me and vouch for me at that lab, and being able to say that I did something hard. And looking now, I mean, school has been hard in a different way of constantly having to do things and learning that the mentality is I don't have to do things, but rather I get to. And I mean, August, September, October, November all honestly turned into a blur of just trying to survive my classes, trying to get through hard things. And yeah, I mean, no words other than that. So I don't even know who texted. Okay, never mind. But I don't know, it's been a journey, and I wish I just remember being at the lab one night and me just like sobbing, and I was just trying to imagine my future self giving myself a hug, and I was just like, yeah, I needed that. And yeah, now looking back, and I would give that girl a hug, and it's strange. And to think about December being chill, being able to go on a training trip, being by the beach, and then January was a whole entire monster itself. And yeah, that was hell. I'll say it up front, that was hell. And then February was a little better, very humbling. I got an 18 out of 40 on my test, my instrumental chemistry test. It wasn't cute. But then it was crazy because I did okay on my accounting homework. Oh, I need to do that. I so need to do that. Oops. And then what else? I went to a conference for swimming, and I went best times for almost all my events. And then like literally a week later, I had, what did I have? It was like state leadership event for business. And then I placed first, and then third. And then I'm going to like the key event. And then this week I had that paper due. And then I'm just gonna miss all these scholarships because I just don't have like the time to do it, honestly. But yeah, it's just been wild to see how far I've come and how far I've changed. And literally comparing myself to a year ago, I was so quiet. I was so like inward. And literally my professor that wrote me my like advisor letter, they said how much I've changed from like when they first met me until now. And I'm like, yeah. And it just made me super reflective because we're going on spring break now. Like, my goal is to get all my paperwork done, all these like responsibilities I have to get done, and for the club and like lock in for my instrumental, maybe do my nails, but work on my instrumental homework because I've definitely been slacking, and I need to not get an 18 out of 40 on my next exam that we come back next Monday. But I don't know, this has just been a really reflective week because I'm not even gonna lie, I was literally in my car like 15 minutes ago crying because like it's the end of spring break, like people left, and I was just so overwhelmed. And this year's been a lot. And I'm waiting for responses about internships this year. I mean, I'm praying I get one, but gonna let go and let God. That has definitely kept me grounded, is my faith. Not promoting my faith, not trying to push that on anybody, just personal preference. You can believe whatever you want. And yeah, definitely, like, this is really cliche, but like all the glory to God. Like, none of it was me. Like, everything that I've been able to do and accomplish has truly been through the one above. And I just want to say thank you for all your guys' support. 700 subscribers is crazy. Crazy. I mean, oh my gosh. I think a year ago, maybe I had like 20. And you guys know who you were originally, always commenting, supporting, and I appreciate it. And it's just wild. It's wild to think how much a year can change and how much a person can change in 90 days. And I'm just like, girl, give yourself a pat on the back, because you don't do that enough. I guess I just imagine every single person's like, whatever, and that everybody does this, and it's just me, and I am just me, and I don't think of myself as someone special. I don't think of myself highly in that way, and so I think I just see the things that I do as something that I get to do, learning, but rather than I have to do. And I guess I kind of forget so often how other people see me in a positive light. And yeah, I don't know. I want to leave you with this after almost a 20-minute video. I'm kind of just yapping. But be reflective on how far you've come. Yeah, it's not easy. Living is not easy. Surviving is not easy. And when you finally get to learn the difference between living and surviving, it makes a world of a difference, because you get the opportunity to create your life, and you have the opportunity to experience life in a whole new way once you can actually live. I believe in you. If I can see it out, and I'm some 20-year-old random girl in college, you can see it through too. Even when you think you can't, you literally can. I just want to give you this tidbit. Literally in August, I was convinced I was going to switch to what is it called? An ethics and a philosophy major. I thought that. And there was a sign for me that was like, Emma, you should really switch to a philosophy and ethics major. And part of me is glad that I didn't, but then another part of me is like, man, I should have. But I believe everything happens for a reason. Literally what I said in my essay that I wrote. Wait, no, that got deleted. My advisor was like, don't put that. You need to use your words wisely. But yeah, even when you think you can't make it, you can. It's slow, cliche, but there's so many times in my life I thought I couldn't do it. I genuinely thought I physically couldn't do another day. But I did. And here we are. Again and again. But stay with it. Stick with it. Your past self is so proud of you because they're seeing you now. And your future self is so proud of you now because they know that you continued. Food for thought.